Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. And a big shout out to Heidi this morning. Big shout out to Heidi. Anyway, good morning, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. It's the day of the week where Celtic are seemingly going to play a bounce game indoors, and it would be just the very thing for Celtic to play a bounce game and two or three players get injured. It would just sum up this season, wouldn't it? It would just give you the very Celtic thing that Celtic would do, and then they would come out and blame something completely different. And didn't know that Bruni had called the support vultures last night. Did he? I couldn't comment on that because I hadn't seen it, and I don't think that I'd like to see the context, hoopsaholic, but I don't think that he would come out and call the Celtic fans vultures, but never mind. We'll wait and see. But anyway, there is a news story going around this morning that Celtic may be ready to cash in on Benji Negrin. He is the player. Look, I can understand why this stories came out, and it's came out from on a publication that kind of tries to sensationalise Celtic stories. It isn't one of the mainstream media, but it's probably owned by one of the mainstream media. I've never looked into them really, but when you look at it, Benji Negrin with his goal scoring prowess this morning. Um, with his goal scoring prowess, I would say that Benji Negrin is a player troubleshooting. Hmm. Oh, just see if that sorts itself back out. Hopefully that has done that. Let's just see if that's worked. Should be all back to normal. If not, we're experiencing buffing. Oh, yeah, yeah. There we go. We're all fine. Anyway, Benji Negrin, you can understand why Celtic would sell Benji Negrin. In fact, he's a midfielder. He's scored 19 goals um, this season as a midfield player, with the £20 million offer of that came in the last transfer window for Arnie Engels. It makes you think that, well, there's two assets at the club that Celtic could sell, and even if they were to sell both the players for say 15 million each, that's 30 million pounds that goes into where are people, someone thinking that's going to offer 25 million for Benji Negrin. Well, I've just said 15 million. If we get 15 million for Benji Negrin, if we get 15 million for Arnie Engels, that's 30 million. That's more than enough to fund the new manager's transfer window, whoever the manager will be. A bigger return on Benji at 1.5 million. Exactly. And that's the way that I quite like the Gruffalo voice. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that was Heidi's fault because she was on the phone for far too long. Um, we can still hear your Fife accent. That's all right. And Sweden qualifies for the World Cup. Depends how many does there. I heard a thought. When was the last time that Needham scored or had an assist? Says Gavboy. It doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, people will just look at the stats. Any club that comes in for a player, the likes of Benji Negrin, and the way that modern football is that we'll look at his stats for the season. Now, Matt O'Reilly was around about the same, although Matt O'Reilly's performances were probably more consistent throughout the course of the season. People will look at the fact that Matt O'Reilly was sold for 25 million. They'll then look at Benji Negrin and say, well, by the end of the season, he could have scored 20 goals in a season, which is a fantastic return for a midfield player. Let's not um, let's not beat about the bush. That's a phenomenal return for any midfield player, which would encourage, according to the report this morning, it does say that Benji Negrin would like to move down south. All players would like to move down that come to Celtic. And We just need to wait and see when it comes to that. Here's one. Football transfers. 5 players that could come to Celtic. Andy Robertson, Scott McKenna, Motherwell player, Julian Araujo, Laurent Taloha of Plymouth. Wonder if Celtic will go for Julian Araujo in the summer. Anyway, that's a long time away. Based on the Scottish League, he's worth 26 million alone. Doubt it. I don't think that you'll get 26 million for Benji Negrin. I'm going to be honest. You know, if anyone says that, I hear Celtic might be interested in the Bournemouth manager. No, that was started online by. I think that was more started online by people that own big Facebook pages. I don't think there was a direct link. I think it was hearsay and comment from a very large Facebook page that said surely Celtic should inquire about said manager. If Celtic haven't made their mind up who the manager is by this time of the season going into the summer, we're in a bad place. We're in a real bad place. And then if we are just making our mind up now and we're going out and we're identifying players for that manager, nothing's going to change at the club. But anyway, we're repeating ourselves here. Morning, people. Hope you're all well. When it comes to Martin O'Neill, he does have hopefully some good news for us when it comes to Friday regarding some players that have played the game today. And I wonder who the bounce game's going to be against. That will be interesting. I mean, surely it'll be against. Will it be against another top 6 team, or it's going to be interesting? Because you have to play it against a side that's going to give you a little bit of a fight, even though it's just a bounce game. We've sold a few players for 20 to 25 million because of their involvement in numbers in the Champions League. 26 million for Benji Negrin. Must be some kind of journalist joke. I've never seen anybody put a price tag of 26 million on Benji Negrin, and if they have, and if they're putting them up there with Jota, if they're putting them up there with Matt O'Reilly, they need their head looked at. I'm not on Facebook, but thankfully we're stuck with Keane. So yeah, this is true. It's very true, isn't it? I still think sound like you're a robot or sore throat. My whole body's sore today, mate. Just put it out there. My whole body is sore today. I got a sports massage yesterday that, yeah. But anyway, right. There's not too much Celtic news going around today. Obviously, there's a lot of people think that Celtic are still in to sign Andy Robertson. Here's a thought. Andy Robertson has already said that he would go to. Do you want Andy Robertson to come to Celtic if Celtic are his second choice? I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't want Andy Robertson anywhere near Celtic. Anywhere near Celtic. Bruni's quotes are in the Celtic Star and the Sun. He's talking about the board being unable to spend £20 million on a player while ignoring the elephant and the fact that we haven't spent anything, says Hoopsaholic. The Sun love to have a complete dig at Celtic, so I'll take it with a pinch of salt, mate. Don't know. Anything that the Sun says, I would take with a pinch of salt. I don't know how KT and Andy Robertson works, and I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't want Andy Robertson anywhere near Celtic. If he's already agreed in principle to join Spurs on the basis that they remain in the Premiership, and then in the English Premiership, if Spurs then get relegated, as a lot of people seem to think that they may happen, if that then happens, and then he turns around and goes, "Yeah, I'll go to Celtic." Fuck off. But do one, mate. I don't. We've had enough players that are only at Celtic for a little. I played for Celtic. I played for Celtic. I'm not wanting Andy Robertson. I'm going to be honest. I don't want him near anywhere near Celtic if that's his attitude. Don't know. It's either if he leaves Liverpool and he goes, I want to play. I want to come to Celtic. Don't know. That's my only option. But not. As soon as he said, I want to go to Spurs, well, that's you, done and dusted. So I don't think that Andy Robertson will be at Celtic in the summer. So tell me what you think. Totally agree with us, not Robertson. I don't want all players back that left. That's that. He didn't leave. He was told he was too short. He didn't even play first team football. He came through the academy and told he wasn't good enough, and then punted away for Celtic. Don't know. You'll get 4 seasons out Sriracha. Yeah, you would. Celtic will go down the road of getting Sriracha for 1.5 million, which is, and the wages that you'll pay Sriracha is about a quarter, and or even less than what you would pay Andy Robertson. So who's the better? Who would be the better option? I think that Sriracha would be a better long term option for me. I would rather Sriracha than Andy Robertson all day long. I think if Celtic asked the question, Robertson would come regardless of Spurs in the Premier League or no. It's like this comment. You'll get 4 seasons out Sriracha. You're not going to get 4 seasons out of Andy Robertson. And I'd have him, like I said in the video the other day, I think that having seen him play for Scotland, it's obvious that he's coming towards the end of his career. Do we really want Andy Robertson, Callum McGregor, Oxlade Chamberlain, all seen out their days at Celtic? I mean, I would take Oxlade Chamberlain. He's a way better player than Andy Robertson. Way better. Heads heads and shoulders above Andy Robertson. You know, it's who would you rather take? Would you rather take Oxlade Chamberlain, who came to Celtic? He's obviously taken a massive wage cut to come to Celtic. Don't know. It was rumoured that he wanted to stay in London, but he spoke to Celtic and he's went, "No, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to try and win some trophies and stuff. I'll play for a massive club." Would you rather Oxlade Chamberlain, who made that decision, or would you rather Andy Robertson, who says, "Yeah, I'm going to go to Spurs. I've got an agreement to go to Spurs." Although he's never came out and said it in public, but Spurs have leaked that information, but only on the basis that they stay in the Premiership. Which two players? I know who I would take all day long, and it'd be Oxlade Chamberlain. So yeah, would you have Kuhn back? Nope. No, because he downed tools as soon as Jota came in. He completely downed tools as soon as Jota came in, and that was disappointing. Good morning to Stephen Johnson. The sun is a rag, but they are direct quotes. Yeah, the Sun have made a lot of direct quotes over the years that are not direct quotes, unless I see video evidence of Scott Brown saying that the Celtic fans are vultures. I can't see it. And anyway, like Paul says, the Sun newspaper is just a rag. I wouldn't believe a single thing that it prints. Exactly. And yeah, he's made his money, come back on a token wage. It won't happen. Kieran Tierney didn't come back on a token wage. Kieran Tierney came. Are you saying that a token wage is 40 odd grand a week? Why would he come back on a token wage like what you've got to say? The big goalkeeping legend that's Joe Hart. Joe Hart came here on a token wage. 15 grand a week. Jesus. That was like 45 minutes of football for Joe Hart when he was getting paid big money down in the Premiership. Sriracha all day long. This should have ended with the McCarthy debacle. We still don't know what happened. Yeah, nobody has ever explained, and even James McCarthy. I still think he had nude pictures of Peter Lawwell in uncompromising positions in a gay bar in Amsterdam. That's my take on it. But we can all make up stories, can't we? Quote me on that one. Morning, Bars, says Stephen Johnson. A lot of people saying good morning. His attitudes are still questionable, Kuhn. Yeah, Kuhn won't. No, you wouldn't take Kuhn back. Listen to what Kuhn said once he left Celtic. Don't know. He said that it was only meant to be a 2 year. Kuhn can fans shushing fans against Falkirk. Yeah, exactly. We need to get a better scouting system, and this is what it all comes down to. You know, all this speculation out there that we're going for these players, this player, and that player. Surely, I mean, I've said it before. Um, Celtic seem to be running the club in a way that any manager that comes in is just going to have to take what they're given. But we'll wait and see. What's going to happen with the scare? Willie Haughey can't see him not wanting to piece of the board. You can't see him not. Kev, why? I see this. I don't understand why people have got this negativity about the whole Willie Haughey thing. I mean, I think that he's been as transparent as he can. He's come out and said publicly, I'm not having anything to do with it. Don't know, I'll put in the money and that's it. I'm having nothing to do. I'll fund it. I'll fund the office. You know, he's preparing to fund an office, put a secretary in it, and he has nothing to do with it. But people are saying that, well, he's going to want a place on the board. He's not wanting a place on the board. It's to put together. We're waiting on Friday. With the rumours going around, would you accept the probe offers for Engels and Benji for the rebuilds? Like I said, I would take 15 million for both, and that would give you 30 million. When you're going to bring in at least another 10 million for Rio Hitati and Dyes and Maeda, that takes it up to 40 million. That's your summer rebuild done in Scotland. 40 million for four players. Do you know, Yang will want to leave again. We got offered 3 million for Yang last season. You're going to be between 3 and 5 million for Yang this season. Do you know, you could pump that up to 45 million. We could easily fund what's going on in the summer by players that want away. We know that there's going to be a massive rebuild. I'm not too worried about the summer, to be honest, because if the likes of, we know that Arnie Engels will want away after that big 20 million offer. But we're still in Europe. You know, there was, everything was going well ish, kind of. You can understand why Celtic didn't want to sell Arnie Engels the last day of the transfer window. You know, when the big money came in. I mean, they went up in small increments. I think if we get offered 15 million for Arnie Engels, he will be gone. I think he's already told the board, look, you turned down that offer, but I want away in the summer. You know, if an English Premiership club comes in the summer, I want to go. It's as simple as that. Scouting and recruitment are the biggest issues. Appointing poor managers. Wilfred Nancy, still no chairman. Nicholson still in charge. Recruitment doesn't exist. Too busy taking flops from desperate agents. That sums up Celtic altogether, pretty much. Chris says, a massive note at Haughey. Anyone that wants a statue of DD can F off. Scott Brown will soon be telling us to do the same. Arse lickers, got a lot of them. Grumpy old man this morning, Chris. Have a giant sit down. What time of day is it? Is it too hot out there? The weather's just turning nice here as well. Also, with the players leaving, the wage bill is going to be severely reduced. I think that the incoming players, it's not going to be severely reduced because it will end up bumping it back up. I can't see us. You've got to remember when we brought Gustav Lagerbelke to the club, Gustav Lagerbelke was on 15 or 16 grand a week. So was Rocky. I can't see us if you want to bring in better players, surely we're going to have to pay better wages. So any reduction in the size of the squad and the wage bill, it's kind of going to level itself out. I think that Celtic will want to reduce the wage bill slightly because of the fact that we've had a really poor financial season, and once it'll become more clear when we get to the end of the season. And do you know that there's so much? It's not just a case of winning the league or winning the Scottish Cup that we need to be looking at in the next couple of months, because whatever happens, if we finish third in the league, for instance, I don't think it will happen, but say it does, we have to look at worst case scenarios. And if worst case scenarios, we finish third in the league, we win the Scottish Cup, we manage to get into Europa through the Scottish Cup. You've then got playoffs for Europa to look forward to and all the rest of it. We want to get players in, and we want to give the manager, you want to get the manager, first of all, in quick enough so that he can prepare the team for the European qualifiers. Because it's paramount that we get back into Europe. Because if we have one season where we are not in Europe, if we have one season where we're in the Conference League in Europe, that will affect Celtic not just this summer, but it's going to hit Celtic for the next 2 or 3 summers. And then we're in the scenario of, from a financial point of view, is do the club then go into debt? Now, having the pendulum swung from 77 million in the bank to the prospect of going, you know, we're maybe going to structure deals where we only pay a certain amount this year of the transfer fee, a certain amount of the transfer fee this year, a certain amount of the transfer the following year. That's going down Rangers type scenario, and that's how they've lost out on players, and that's why they're in the shit show that they are in. It would be a massive turnaround for Celtic. You know, we'll be lucky to get 5 million for Dyson Maeda. Eddie, you'll get more than that. We've got 3 million for a Scottish player that played in midfield that wasn't that good, and he only had 6 months left in his contract. The fact that we've got a year left on his contract, I would be looking at a minimum of 5 million for Dyson. Joseph Davison says the scouting has to be better, more astute. Well, who's in charge of the scouting? Tisdale was meant to be in charge of the scouting department. There's all these things that are, it's, you know. Anyway, when the Zombies lose the league, you can have a sausage roll for £5. Not. Benjamin Ingram and Engels are the only big money players we have. Give Maeda and Hatate away, Yang away. But we don't want players who don't want to be here or want away. You're not going to give them away. I know you're just being like, you're just, yeah. But no, you will still bring money in. The days of bringing players in at the end of their careers must be done next season. Be massive. The board must be getting it right off and on the park. Yeah, the same board that the fans have wanted out all season. The only hope is as soon as the season finishes, that there is some movement from Celtic with regards to everything at the club, really. We need a boost of some kind, and I don't think that the current hierarchy within the club have it within them to. This is it's a big summer for Dermot Desmond, massive summer for Dermot Desmond. He's the one that will step up to the plate, whether you like it or not. It's a reality check. He stepped up to the plate for when Martin O'Neill was brought in the first time. He stepped up to the plate to bring Martin O'Neill back when Brendan Rodgers was kicked out. This is why, for me, it's all shining a light on Robbie Keane. And Martin O'Neill's even been saying that Robbie Keane could be a potential great manager for Celtic. Last week, Keane conceded he was open to leave his current team, only if the switch could take him to a higher level. Kind of says to me that coming to Celtic isn't his first option, is it? Considering Robbie Keane got his team to the later stages of the Europa, would Robbie Keane even consider Celtic? I don't even think he would consider it if he's making comments like that. Don't know. Hmm. We'll wait and see. I mean, last week Martin O'Neill said that Celtic should be considering Robbie Keane. He said that he's done really well, so why shouldn't we be looking at Robbie Keane? What if Robbie Keane just goes, nah, Celtic's not, it doesn't follow the ambition I've got. You know, Celtic aren't interested in Europe. It's a wee cash cow for them. They're not interested in getting to the later stages of Europe, if you ask me. The board will say that they are, but I think that as fans we know that they're not really. Well, Dermot Desmond says that they're not, so we'll wait and see. Anyway, let's get some more comments before we finish up this morning. Engels is shite, says Chris. I hope he won't be back. It's 26 degrees, rain, storm today, from 34 yesterday. Oh, my heart bleeds for you, mate. 26 degrees. It's terrible, isn't it? It's going to be around about 23 here today. If you fancy Willie Haughey's thing, then don't sign. Yeah, that's pretty much the way that it be. You know, if you don't fancy it, don't sign up. If you do fancy it, sign up. But if you don't fancy Willie Haughey's thing, show me a blueprint, show me an alternative that says that, you know, this is the way forward. And that's the one thing that we don't have from the Celtic Trust, the Celtic Fans Collective, the Green Brigades, the boys. You know, there's no other organisation within the Celtic fan base that is putting forward a clear blueprint to what some kind of actionable change may look like. Now, Willie Haughey isn't saying that he's going to make changes to the board. He's saying that we're going to try and give the fans a voice. So we'll wait and see when it comes to Friday. We are only 2 days away from the announcement and the launch of the Celtic Fans Season Ticket Fans Alliance Trust. So one of the longest names ever. Judging Nicholson with comments about Europe and success. Europa League is a good season. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, this is very true. Too many things Celtic fans limited to the collective. Willie Haughey with his milk bottles. Jesus. I'm sure if we get third, we get Europa anyway. Not forgetting that we've got the cup, but one more win gives us Europa anyway. Concentrating first or second in the Champions League spot. Dermot Desmond won't let Celtic go into debt. Let's be honest. Yeah, it won't, Paul, but it then means spending within our means. It means going back to picking up players for £1-2 million. You know, bringing in a squad of 7, 8 players at £1.5 million each to keep the financial stability of the club. Hmm. We'll be lucky to get 5 million for Dies Maida. I did say 5 million, and I would take 5 million all day long. Scottish Cup, we need to win for Europa if we finish third. Lennon could be with Europa with Dunfermline. Well, whilst we're in the conference. Oh, yeah, there may be trouble ahead. If there's no movement, we must keep up the Not Another Penny campaign. If there's no movement in the board this summer, when will we know that? When does the Not Another Penny campaign cease to end? When does that come to a natural finish? When does, do you know? And we all know the objective: get rid of Nicholson, get rid of Chris Mackay. But then you're allowing Dermot Desmond to make the decision on who comes in. You know, it's say Martin O'Neill does get a job as an advisor on the board. You know, is he too close to Dermot Desmond? It makes us really wish that the last man that came into Celtic with any ambition at all was chased out of the club. Celtic would be a stepping stone to the EPL forum. Um, this one flew over the cuckoo nest territory. How any fan can look at this board with everything they put us through. This isn't supporting a club, it's personal with them. They need ousted. Yeah, they do need ousted, but how? Who are you going to bring in? Do you know? That's all I'm saying. Let's just pray he goes to Spurs, Robbie Keane. Yeah, let's pray he goes to Spurs. 6 points from the Ox are worth their weight in gold. Yes, they are that. Um, if Coventry or Wolves come calling, Keane's going to hang around here. He's not going to hang around long enough. If the Spurs job is not for offer for Keane, looks like Celtic is his only option. If Keane's done a bit managing at a higher level, Celtic will be a stepping stone. Keane's done nothing. Shite. He's got a lot further than Celtic have in Europe in the last couple of years. Saying, but crazy. Europe is where the big bucks are and hungry players are. Yes, this is true. Willie Haughey's a fraud, Baz. Willie Haughey's a fraud. Give us another option. This is where we find ourselves in as a conundrum, for as Celtic fans. Do you know we want change? You don't want change. You want, you know. There's no. I said months and months and months ago, you have to have a viable option for the majority of the fan base to come together as a whole and say this is the way forward. Not another penny campaign affects the ability of the club going forward. It's been proven this year that it's been a success. Now, if you want to financially hurt the club to get rid of the members of the board, that's fine. But you will not get a choice on who the next board member will be. That's not change. When the fans don't have a voice on who the next chairman will be, on who the next CEO will be, who the next financial officer won't be, that's not change. It's change, but not as you would like it. You're having no say. So all I'm saying is let's hear out Willie Haughey on Friday. Let's see what he has to say, and let's hear what Paul McStay has to say because he's the spokesperson for this. So, and if fans don't agree with it, then the ones that don't agree with it come up with a viable alternative. I've not seen that. I've not seen a business blueprint for going forward for serious change with the club from anybody. Don't know. I've not seen someone sit down and look at the figures and go, right, I can come in and do this, this, and this, and this, and this. There's no option of that. We can't keep on going on into next season and say nothing changes in the summer. Right? Are we going to go into next season? Right, we're not buying merchandise. We're not doing this. We're going to end up hurting the club for years. I bet it's to get the board out. Give us an alternative. You finally got a person that is coming in and he's given us an alternative vehicle. We need a vehicle to get behind to try and get our say on the board. And that's all Willie Haughey is offering. Let's just see where it goes for there. It will be very, very divisive. It always is with Celtic fans. People always think that there's agendas. They've got an agenda. They've got an agenda. It always is. Sounds like a blueprint to me. When Celtic appoint a decent manager, spend some serious cash. The board needs sorted. The manager, scouting system, team, just to start. Right, Kev? Like I say, there's nobody coming out and giving us a complete. Dermot Desmond will only bring in a yes man to the club. Yes, we know this. Peter Lawwell still running the show in the background. It's obvious. I don't think he is, but the leftovers from. You've got to remember that Chris Mackay and Nicholson have been at the club for a while. That they were always the understudies to, they were the ones that were always going to step up after Lawwell. Dominic Mackay, he wanted to change everything. Not to remember him and Dominic Keane done to Livingston. Do you not remember what? Yeah. But he's not having an active. Jesus God, man, honestly. He doesn't want on the board of Celtic. You know, we can keep, honestly. Eddie hits it on the nail. At least Haughey's trying to do something. But you'll get knocked down and knocked. This is what's wrong with Scotland in a whole. You know, you have a vision. Someone has a vision. And it's a very Scottish thing to do. You know, somebody has a vision of trying to achieve something. And you'll have some naysayer at the side of you going, fuck off, that's shite, you're talking pish, you're a fucking wanker. You know, and it could be the best thing, you know, since fucking sliced bread. Oh, wait a minute, that was Mark Warburton, wasn't it? No more fucking pointy hats. Jesus. Oh, I love this. Absolutely love it. It's bonkers. And it's going to be very, very divisive over the summer. His intention is obvious to get their hands on some sort of Sabas, for fuck's sake. Why would they be putting... Look, we'll get the stuff up on the screen. Why would you go to all this extent? A board of trustees. Look, do you want me to make it even bigger so you can read it? A board of trustees, a maximum of 5, will be formed, which include a combined chair, a spokesman. These individuals will be chosen by the members on a one-member, one-vote basis until the board of trustees has been formed. Paul McStay will be the spokesman for the trust. Why would you go to all that trouble if all Willie Haughey wants to do is be in the board? They want to create a platform that would be conduit of a two-way communication to the club. And to maintain and uphold the club legacy, in the medium term, the aim of the trust would be to build a meaningful shareholding in the club. We believe that 54,000 season ticket holders combined will have a substantial shareholder. For every 10 million that join, the trust will commit 2 million with the aim of buying shares up to a maximum of 10 million. I don't know, the negativity around this is phenomenal. But did I expect any less? No, because it's the way that the Celtic fans are. Celtic fans won't be happy until some sheik or some sheikh fucking caliph or whatever comes in and goes, there's 200 million, Dermot, take the cash and bugger off. And I want total control of Celtic. And that's what's wrong with fans. Do you know? Willie Haughey isn't in charge and he's still getting slated. Exactly. Let's just throw 10 million at the Celtic board for no reason. He's not thrown 10 million at the Celtic. This is what's bonkers. People think that the Celtic board are going to get this 10 million. Honestly. Celtic board will not see a single penny of this 10 million. Come on, Baz, except the Lord can forget my opinion, but can you remember John McGuinness? Boy, they won the lottery. Who the fuck gives a shit? You know what I mean? Somebody willing to give 10 million of their money for nothing in return, and people are complaining. It's such a Celtic thing. Say I won, right, here's the thing. Say I won the Euro Millions tomorrow, right? Say I won 150 million on the Euro Millions. And I went, do you know what? There's fucking no way I'm going to spend 150 million in my lifetime. I'm going to put 10 million worth, and I'm going to buy 10 million pounds worth of shares, and I'm going to create a trust, and I'm going to have nothing to do with it. I don't want to be on the board. I fucking hate that kind of shit. I'm happy sitting here looking at my window at the Mediterranean, to be honest, on the Costa del Sol. Can't be arsed sort of day-to-day life in Glasgow. It's too fucking wet. It pisses the rain most of the year. And do you know, I'll let some other fuckers deal with that shit. I'll give you 10 million quid, and I would get fucking all sorts of abuse. You're fucking just in it for fucking shares, you fucking prick. You know, give me some fucking money, God, give me some money. God, the world is mental. The world is mental. Baz, this hockey bid will tell us what DD really thinks about Celtic. It's not a bid. It's not a bid. Do you know what I mean? We're not trying to take over the board. If I win the lotto, I'll come in and shake my booty. No matter what, we don't want any American near the club. That's for sure. This is very true. Um, I think the club's got us all paranoid. It's got us. Chris, I would definitely share that kind of money with the family. You know that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the whole. Do you know what it's shown me is the events of this year has got the Celtic fan base very wary of anything. Do you know? It's bonkers. It is bonkers. Um, yeah, Chris, I'd even bring my dad over to see you over there. He's having his first flight since he left Tenerife this week, all those years ago. 14 years in Tenerife, and he's never flew since. Mental. Melee Boy, what really is it Celtic fans want? They want a voice. We have a guy, a legend, willing to do this, and now they're moaning. Unreal. It's bonkers, isn't it, mate? It is bonkers. But it's the way of the world. And I think that no matter what happens in the next couple of weeks, um, I'm glad you said that one, mate, and not me. I'm sure the table up, I'd get a table of six up the Wolford Lounge. I probably would do that actually. If I win the lottery, I'll pay off my therapists for the show this season. If you won 150 million quid, what would you do? Yes, that was one thing I would do. I would obviously you would sort out your family as everyone would do. I would change my phone number. I'd probably have to delete every bit of social media. Would I keep on doing this? More than likely, just to fucking laugh every day and have a bit of a joke. But anyway, we'll have to wait on Friday. Hopefully, it's good news. Safe proposal. Yeah. But yeah, I would get a lounge. Having have sat in the club Celtic, I'd probably get one of those lounges just to piss off the board. Really, just sit up in one of those lounges with the tables and that in it, and sitting here, we scran watching the football and that, and for the main stand. Oh Jesus! Anyone that would vote for a clown like Trump shows what American people are all about. Enough said. How the hell's Trump managed to get into a Celtic conversation? The difference between is that you're not a lord of the realm, an establishment knob. Yeah, this is true. Mate, I wouldn't get anywhere near that. I remember the first time that I went. This is a true story, by the way. I remember the first time that I took my seat up in the Celtic lounge. Now, one of the stewards at the time had been a steward down in 111. And when I walked through the doors, to the club Celtic lounge, he turned around and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Baz. Fuck me, they're letting anybody in here these days, aren't they?" I was like, we're everywhere, mate. We're in every part of the stadium now. Oh, it was fun times. It was quality. It was good. Good times. But anyway, um, Celtic fans are so fickle. Sevco fans are deluded. Oh, Jesus, just start that. The ownership of the shares, the owners of the shares will get the money. Yes, this is very true. And it will be big financial companies that have money in Celtic that the shares were probably bought from in big numbers. Anyway, yes, infiltration. It was true because at that time, there was connections to the Green Brigade in every single corner of Celtic Park. Good times, good times. But anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. That was a true story. That, by the way, it's funny as anything. It was honestly. These fuckers are getting it everywhere. Anyway, can you blame Baz with the board's shenanigans? Nope, no, not at all. It's so Celtic fans are fickle. when they disagree about one subject. It wasn't me that said it. I've just reposted. Where's the original comment? The original comment was up on the screen. We won't have to wait long anyway. It is Wednesday morning. It's always that time of the week. Praying that we win the semi, so we will be dancing in Santa Ponza on the 25th of May. Come on, the hoops, says Eddie. Yes, that would just be fantastic if we do that. Anyway, right, that is me done and dusted for this morning. Yous are all absolute bonkers, but I love every single one of yous. And I managed to get a VIP seat next to Coca-Cola, cup of Ibrox behind the Rafe Rovers fans. My old job, the only one Paul McStay missed a penalty, never forgive him. I wouldn't admit to that, mate. I just wouldn't admit to that at all. Wouldn't admit to it at all. Right, anyway, I will catch you on later on this evening. I wonder if we'll get any information that comes out of Celtic about the bounce game that I reckon has to be today. So on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. It's just mental. I love it.